Welcome back, everyone. I hope you are here. Let me see who is around. Can you just show or just give me some sign? Yes, great. Okay, good. So, how was the exercise in the first session? Was it easy to follow, at least? Okay, let's move on. Now what we're going to do is actually the one I showed you at the very beginning. The let's play it. Which was it? I think it was in a test folder. Let's this one. It went to the other. Okay, this. We will implement this one. As you can see, you can change the background if you want, something like this and whatsoever. So it's again event handling or management. So this is what we implement, and the other one, the coming, is which one is it? The country. Yes, let's play this again. Why is it taking so long? Oh, something happened. Oh yeah, do you know why? Because the country's object is not in that folder, so it didn't get the path. So I had to move this data to here, and then it will start working. Yeah, I got the point. Yes, this one. So now you know, but in addition, if we have time, we may display all the countries at once and also add search functionality. Before we start, if you have any question, let me know. Any question? Let me check seems there's no question, so let's move on. We don't need this for the time being, and we don't need that one. So instead, let's create our own. I call this one, or maybe actually we can just change the previous, this one, not this one, actually this one. We can change this to another event handler. So I can duplicate this. There way I can duplicate, copy, and then I just paste it here and change some of the, by renaming, I call it input data handling. The reason why I'm calling it input data handling, because there is input which I'm going to use and you will see it. Input. By the way, this you can call it any name, but I am giving name related to what I do, so it's easy to follow. And great. But if I go here, I think it has to, oh, it's changed. Have you seen event handling? No, actually it's not changed. Input data handling. Great. This is the previous, we don't need that one. So what is this? I can run this one by, yes. We don't need the button anymore, right? So I go and remove the button, right? But I need this one. Instead, I may need for instance, input. How about if I write an input, something like this? Have you seen input? If you know about input, input takes lots of fields. For instance, the name, it's good, I call it first name. And placeholder, I call it first name. Something like this. So it's a kind of input data. It could be a checkbox, it could be a radio button, it could be different kind of input fields. So input has also type attribute. Type, for instance, this one is text. Text. But if I put type is equal to color, actually it gives me something like that. It's so easy, right?
You know, just one comment. I thought that during the exercise that you presented in the video, we had to build this this color checker, you know.
Yes.
I thought it was going to be very complex, you know. That's why I was wondering whether you had to overlay something. But so in fact, it was already out of the box, yeah. Input type by just typing the type color. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, the type color, I believe it's the recently introduced type of input element. So we have the different types: text, color, date, password, email, and lots of them. Actually, I can't list them out all. So the color just gives you this kind of input. What you can do is actually then grabbing the value of this selected. Do you know now? I selected something, so grabbing this data right away. We will see how we can do that. Maybe I think before I do the color, let's also see how we can handle this. The first one, for instance, name. I can give it, well, I think we don't need this. So let's move on to, okay, let's move to here. Yeah, const input document dot query selector, just one of the input. Okay, I'm just selecting one of the input I have here. So the best way to learn JavaScript is, guys, just console.log everything, console.log input, and then let's see what we get on the console. Control-Shift-I. I can open the console by now, but I don't see anything actually. Am I writing somewhere else? I hope not. What input data handling? Cannot read property add event listener. 34. Let's, because we have removed the button, so that's true. Let's remove that. And now, yes, as you can see from line 34 is actually generating this. I managed to catch or grab this input. So if you want to get the value, console.log and input dot value. We didn't get anything. How about if I put some value actually? Yeah, the value doesn't, I can't get the value because it needs some kind of action. Okay, what kind of action? Okay, input dot add event listener. As I told you, the event listener take type of event, and then a callback function. Your callback function can be written something like this: alert, and let's And then here let's write E, which is targeting the event. Let's see, then again, actually we target this event and we want to get data from the same element. So if I input dot value, for instance, yeah, but have you seen we didn't put any kind of event type? The appropriate event type would be change. Actually, change is an event type, so that means when some change happens. Yeah, D, I wrote D, and if I write something 7, and now if I leave, so I am actually getting the value. You don't have to write it input, or maybe you can get it E dot target, something like this, also E. And what's our target? Our target is actually this and the value. Let's try it again. And when you leave that, you are getting this value. Great. Now, for instance, if I ask you something which takes some value and calculate the area of a circle, or maybe gravity something, or basal metabolic index, or a BMI, or something kind of, how can you do that? Okay. So instead, I will change that value. I will show you now. We are about to create an application. Let us create, but I think before that it's better to just finish this. Yeah, how can we get the value? But as you can see, I select the input. Now we have to input, so I don't need the other input, this one. Okay, let me remove, so I will have only this input. So if I select something, yeah, I'm getting this value, as you can see. If I'm selecting, yeah, but the thing is now, how do we apply this color? It's not about popping up the value. It's all about using that background, that color to the background. How can we do that? Okay, let's implement that. So actually, how we do that? I will take this. Now we got a background color there. Here, instead of this, what we should do, we assign this value to here. Whenever there is a change, then we can. Now let's see. But this is not a very good kind of change, because it's too late until we change it. As you can see, it's not instant. I think input, we have this another event type, input. Input instantly change whatever you do. Have you seen it? Yeah, great. But the change was waiting until it gets blur, or until we leave the input field. Yeah, this was the assignment done. Any question if you have? But before that, before we move to the second exercise, I like to add another exercise for you, and it's going to change, that's going to do or calculate BMI. Let's go that makes everything clear. So okay, I like to just duplicate this one, copy, and I give it the name BMI, paste, and I call it BMI because we are dealing with the BMI. So BMI, and this one also BMI. And what do we need? First I have to change this to BMI, and we may not need all this. Maybe let's just leave that there. So BMI, to calculate BMI, what do you need? To calculate a BMI is actually this, how you calculate mass divided by height times height in a meter square, right? Is that true? Yes, this is the BMI formula. Or something which look for weight of a person in on planet Earth. So mass times gravity. We can do something like that. So we need to input field, right? Something which to take mass and gravity. Maybe I think it's easy to first calculate weight because it needs only mass. Let's imagine we know the gravity. So what we need is actually, what's the kind of input we need? Text. Okay, so we don't need this displaying of any kind of with time whatsoever for the time being. Okay, yeah, but I think we are playing another. Let's display that, and still we don't need this one. I can remove. What we have is only just the input now. But okay, now let's say this. How do I calculate the weight of the body? If I put 75, it has to calculate and display the weight of the person. So I have to put maybe calculate somewhere. Maybe a button here. Calculate. So I have to give it some kind of class name and calculate, and I have to give it this one also class or ID, doesn't matter. I can call it mass because I'm about to take the mass of the object. What is that? This button is big because it's taken from the previous exercise. Let's make the button really small. I think 15 is enough. And there should be a margin top and bottom. Let me give it 15 and auto. Yeah, great. Even that's for me. Okay, maybe 20 is good, it doesn't matter. So we have this button. When we click, we have to get some result. Okay, even we can also give it for the input padding, maybe again 15 pixel, the same amount of pixel I will give it maybe, and it looks it's too much, so 15 and also 15 some kind of uniformity too. Okay, this is good enough. Okay, so let's calculate the value. So we have one input, it doesn't matter, but the button const calculate document dot query selector, no query selector, and I can go dot calculate. As you can see, I usually make the name of the class and the name of the variable here the same, not to be confused. Calculate. I think this has, yes. Then now let's do something. Where do I attach the event? The event should be attached here. So calculate dot add event listener, and it's going to be click and when it's clicked we have to show something. Let's do alert, and the value, actually the value of what? This. So the value of that is input dot value. Let's put 75. I'm 75 kilogram. Oh, I don't see anything. What's wrong? Maybe let's see what was wrong. Calculate, because I wrote it, I had a typo. Don't you tell me when I have a typo, guys. Yes, I will suffer if you don't tell me. Yeah, as you what I'm just, but that's not what I want. It just shows my server here. Why it shows that? Let's see. Input. It is my input value.
The input value is empty, right? I mean, your text is nothing. So
yeah, you're right. It doesn't have anything. So now it should have. Yeah, I was looking at where the server is running, and it sounded weird for me. Now you were right. Thank you, Mark. So now we see what we are writing. If we write something, 75, I should see 75. But you should be sure that if this is a number or other data type, okay, for sure the data type is. We can see the data type.
Yeah. One question.
Yes.
You used calculate, but you could have used so calculate is the button.
It's a button, yes.
Yeah, you could have used button. No, I'm just wondering because you also. Oh no, you didn't. Yeah, you had also on the line 29. You know, line 29. You have also this button.
Yes.
Content. So you could have used button also, right?
Okay, I can use also button. Yes, yeah, that one. If it's confusing for you guys, I can use this button, the one which I have from the previous, and then I change this to a button. That's true. So it's, but remember, when you develop an application, you will have lots of buttons. So when you have many buttons, you should start calling them by their name instead of by universal name like button. Yeah, because button refers to all the buttons. Input refers to all the inputs you may have on your application. So after some point you should give them a specific name. Yeah, so for instance, this is handling the mass, so I will call this mass input or something like that. Let's move on. So there's no data here. Okay, we got that, but I believe, let's see that data type of input dot value. Let's see 50. Okay, there's strings. It's a string, so we have to change this value to number. Okay, so let's let mass is equal to in number. We can change it. We can change value to number like this. Input. Oh, sorry. Input dot value. And everybody knows that the gravity of planet Earth's gravity is about 9.81. And let's calculate the weight of the body. Let weight is equal to mass times gravity. So we have to display the result somewhere. So where? Somewhere here. How do we do that? So we have to append it in the wrapper, because we have wrapper, right? The wrapper is this one. So whenever we append something in the wrapper, it will be inside here. But I think we should also put maybe these values inside. No. Why even we need this? We don't need that. How about if I put this here? Yeah, something like this. And I want my value to come here. Okay, so let's create a p tag. Let p p, that means result, document dot create element, and then I want to be p, and then the result is going to be p dot text content, and it's going to be the weight. Now but we should append it also later. I think I didn't write it properly. Then wrapper, we have wrapper, append, child, and we have to have this p. Okay, so let's give 75 this person. Yes, we managed to calculate 73, but this doesn't make, it's not what is it. So let's make it meaningful. We can say actually the weight of the body is in Newton at planet Earth. Now this is somehow meaningful, right? So let's do again. The weight of the body is 735.75 Newton at planet Earth.
Can I ask you a question? Now, if you press again, calculate.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not appending to some extent on the wrapper. Because I was thinking it will keep, initially I thought that it will keep the content and it will just append further.
Yeah.
The content. Because I had an issue, when I was playing with a country, I was appending and I didn't see any change. In reality, it was just adding to the list, of the content, because it was appending. It was not, let's say, overwriting.
Yeah. Okay. So this is what you do. I got the problem. What you should do if you have that problem, this is how you should do. For instance, now wait, it was not appending actually. Let's see, for instance, 100, and we have that. Yeah.
That's strange. Why is he not appending? Because I would have thought that the behavior would be like, it would be adding, because you're not refreshing the page and you adjust. So that's kind of
okay, let me see. I understand your worries.
It's good, you get exactly what you want, but I would just
yes. Okay, let me figure out that. Just give me some time to think. Okay, wrapper. We created here. After we create, we give a value.
Do you need to create a new element for every time you click it? A new P element.
Yes, she answered the already unanswered it. Mark. As you can see, I just created only once here. Yeah. My clicking, whenever I am clicking here, I will never create a value. Instead, what I do is actually put a value, assigning a text for the created one here, so that this one doesn't affect it. If I click it 100 times, I will reassign new value to the created text, but I will never. But if you put it inside,
yeah, exactly.
If you put that inside, now it may happen like that. Let's try. Yeah, have you seen?
Indeed.
Oh no. Oh, take me out from this. Okay, no mess. Okay, do you get it, guys? Yes. So this is a little application, but now how about if we are interested to now, let's do, instead of this whatever is not giving us much thing to do, so let's change this to instead BMI calculator. Okay, I may just add something, a text here which says P or H1 BMI calculator. Yes, why so big? But do we really care? Not for the timing, because we are not styling. Okay, so for BMI, as I told you, we need 2 inputs, and I give it, this is mass, and another class is going to be height. Okay, and then calculate will be calculate, because we just need, so it's better to also give placeholder because no one knows what to put here, right? So but if we put a placeholder mass in kilogram and height, placeholder height in no, actually in meter, right? Yes. Doesn't it? So this is what yeah, because it is working like the way it was. Now we're about to change it. So instead of just saying here input, I call it mass input, and I can, and this should be changed to mass, and then I can just duplicate this, copy, and the height input, and this should change to height. Remember, your naming should be mnemonic. If you just give random name, you will find yourself trying to figure out what you named at some point in time. So don't be in that loop. Don't put yourself there. It's really terrible. I know it. Okay, well, we can use the button itself, this button. I'm happy with that. And we can use the same thing, this, I'm happy with that. But the formula, now we are not calculating the weight of a body, but we can say the we don't need this mass. Yes, we need the mass of the person, but now mass input, and we need let height, again we should change it to number, and height input dot value, because we are getting the value. We don't need gravity, but we need BMI, mass times height. Okay, so as you can see, now instead of weight, I can change this to BMI, and we should change the statement. Your BMI is, it doesn't have any unit at the moment, because you may do some workout and you may change, right? So let's try to, for instance, I'm 75 and I'm about 1.73. What is that? Yeah, something like that. Oh, nothing happened. So the best way to see is you should really open your console all the time, because I don't know what's happening now. Control Shift I, and you open and see uncode reference mass input, because I made a typo. Yes. And then let's try again, 75, and I'm about 1.73 meter. And when we calculate, yes, your BMI, what? Yeah, because the formula was wrong. Yes, because we used just the weight formula, but the formula should be something like this, times height, and something like this. Now let's do 75 and 1.73, and if you do, your BMI is this 25.0 whatsoever at the moment. By the way, there is this method and fixed, you can fix the significant digit by passing some argument here. Let's do another test again. And what was that? 1.73 something. Yeah, your BMI is 2.506 at the moment. But now, for instance, people may think that BMI tells something about our physical condition, if we are slim or like obese or something. Now even we can add some if condition to check, to say, hey, you are slim enough, you are underweight, you are overweight. We can also tell, we can give feedback. I will leave this for you to figure out how you give a feedback to the user here based on his BMI. Did you get the exercise? I hope so. Now I'm just displaying your BMI is 25, your BMI is 10, whatsoever. But that doesn't give much information. What you do is just make it more informative by telling the person is underweight or overweight or slim. Yeah, we're done with this exercise. Do you have any question?
I think maybe just about this add event listener. So it's got two parameters, has it? And the first is the action, and is the second always a function?
Yes.
What? Okay.
All the time. All the time. It never changes. Once if you know it, you can use it all the time. So yes, that is how it goes. So whenever you do, so first you have to target the element, and then you attach it with an event listener, add event listener, and the event listener take actually event type, and then you will have a function. You can just pass your callback function like this from somewhere else, or if you don't have a plan to reuse that function, you just create an anonymous function like this as a callback, and you write your code here. Actually, your code goes here. This is a skeleton or syntax for event handling. The element, any element, it could be the body, a button, or an input, and then the add event listener method, which you attach to this, and then this event type could be click or mouse enter, mouse out, change input, whatsoever kind of event, and then your code goes here. Great, let's comment this out. Are you excited to go to the country exercise? If you don't have any question, let's do that. After the country exercise, we'll have another break. Let's do the okay. But are you happy with this one? By the way, this is not ready kind of because now, for instance, you can prevent the user. If the user just try to click without putting any value, it is saying something like this, but you can prevent it. You may tell the user, please, or the mass field or the height field needs or requires a value, a parameter. So that is so easy to implement. Try to figure out how. Okay, now let's do another thing. So it's going to be the country, yeah? So first, let's play the country before we implement it, because it's nice. We never know our next destination to be, so let's figure out again. I just love to play this 100 times for some reason. Okay, again, Seychelles. I don't know even how to pronounce that. Yes, Cuba. Yes, yes. Do you really go to some country by just using this? Oh, even Ethiopia? Oh, that's so lovely. Okay, Germany. Okay, Serbia. Okay, Algeria. United States minor outlying islands. This is just not a country, but it's just an island somewhere on planet Earth. Okay. Mayotte. I don't know how to really read this, but anyway, this is how it works. You got the description, and you know how, you know what you are supposed to do. It has a message here. It's another text area, and then information about the country and a button to click. Great. I destroyed that. Let's go to the exercise. I call it, then I can modify this or any of BMI copy, and I call it what is going on like that? I don't know why it happens like that. I have no idea. I just delete that. Oh no, please don't do that. Yes, delete it. Until I think I can just rename this countries, because it's just taking forever. Yeah. Great, I have whatever I need, but I call it countries exercise. I do not make countries. And I want this country's exercise need data, and the data should be this data because I have these countries. So let's copy and put it here. Okay, now let's play, let's run this file as we do most of the time, like this. Yeah, because we start from that, but we don't need most of the parameters. We don't need anything. Maybe we need the button. The button was what is that? Find country something. Maybe we can start here. Where do you like to go after the corona? This is enough. Maybe another message. Yeah, but we don't need that message. If you want, you can add that message for yourself. I want to remove this. Okay. Now let's try to connect. This is not BMI countries. Exercise this. Now let's go and display the country first. The first thing you should do, I think all this, I don't need to show any date, any hexa. I may not need all this. Body, I may need the body, not the body, I need the wrapper. Mass whatsoever, no, just destroy everything. Yeah, destroying is easy, right? Console.log. And now let's see the country's data. The country's data which I'm talking about is this one, but I can't get the country's data now because I forgot to bring it here, script, and I have to source and this what is this? Yeah, countries data. By now, when I am trying to countries data, like this, because the way it's stored is like this, countries data. So by now we should get it there, here. So how do we know? Control-Shift-I, and let's see here. Wow, 250 countries. So now we can do whatever we want with these countries. The way the random hexadecimal works and this works is actually the same. So now if I want to display Afghanistan, this is how I do. Countries. I don't countries dot 0. The first is Afghanistan. I can just store like let country, and it's going to be Afghanistan. Why this countries? Why is that? Yeah.
How does this JavaScript file get data from the other?
Yeah, JavaScript for everyone. Okay, JavaScript for everyone. Let me just GitHub.
No, I mean, how does this refer to the other JavaScript file? Because this country's data, that's a list in the other JavaScript file. So how does this one know that it's what that variable means? That way you.
This one.
Yeah. So this is an object in countries data.
Yeah. Yes.
And how does the countries exercise? How does it know what that variable is?
Yeah. Okay. Because it's somehow similar to the previous one, but as you can see, this file, countries data, is connected. I linked it at the top.
So just because they're linked in the HTML document,
yes,
they can access each other.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So this is where you get, by the way, guys, the data. So countries object, you get this, the big object. I prepared this for JavaScript for everyone, and this one is also countries list. And even if you go some exercises on the JavaScript, for instance, Melania Trump's speech and Michelle Obama's speech, there's one exercise which may ask you to find if Melania plagiarized Michelle's speech, something like that. And you do that using JavaScript, okay? So if one of the exercise on JavaScript for everyone asks you to figure out if she did or not, there was some kind of rumors or allegation during her speech in 2016 or something. Okay, so let's get back to the topic. Where was I just got lost. No, I didn't. Console.log. Console.log country. So here we have, what we are trying to do is now just to see only Afghanistan, okay? Afghanistan. So now let's create a const. We can say name, and I call it name p. Name p means paragraph, document, create element, and then I call it p. And I create for the capital city, capital, but let me just first show you, okay? So now name.p.text content, it's going to be country.name, and then I can append wrapper.body, wrapper.append child. By now I think you know this appending, and then p. Do we say anything here? We don't say anything because the wrapper itself is not appended. How do I append? Document.body append child, and wrapper has to be appended there. And by now I should see some kind of Afghanistan somewhere. No, because if you see some red light here, that means you have something wrong. Unquote reference error. P is not defined at line number 10. Let's see. Wrapper append child. What's wrong? Wrapper. Oh, P. It's not P. So name P. Name of the country and the paragraph. That's what it should be. By now we should see Afghanistan. Yeah. And if you do the same, wrapper append child, and then capital, and you should see the capital CT of where I don't see anything here. Okay, maybe I didn't use it yet. Yeah, because I didn't use it yet. Capital P dot text content, and country. From the country I am getting out the capital, because guys, as you can see from this object, we can see name refers to Afghanistan, capital, and language population. And now you can do so the population. Okay, let's create by just I can call capital P instead population P, population P, and this one is going to be instead of image, I call it flag image, and then it's going to be MG. Okay, now I did for the capital population p.text content, and it's going to be country dot population, and another what is that? Flag, actually. Yes, flag image dot src, because we give it src source instead of text. It's an image, right? So it's going to be country dot flag. Let's see if there's a flag. Yeah, flag, as you can see. Now we should append all of them one after another. Okay, where was I? Wrapper and append child, and I do population P, and then again wrapper dot append a child. Yes, then actually flag image. Yeah, I think by now we should see the flag of Afghanistan. So lucky. Yeah, so this is, but now actually you should display this randomly. Let's just do some kind of experiment. If I change this to 1, maybe it's going to be Albania. Is it Albania? Yeah, it might be Albania. Let's check. It's Holland, actually. Yeah, as you can see, the image is so big, so let's make use of the power of CSS image, and let's just make that image so small. Let's make it to actually 25%, and then we will not have such kind of problem anymore. Actually, the country is Holland Island. So that's too small. Let's just make it 50 and we're fine. Okay, now let's get back to that. If you change this to maybe the second one, maybe Albania or something, I don't know, Albania and 3 something. But now, for instance, in my mind, something is just coming, some random number, 45. Okay, so what is that country actually? Bangui or something like that. So your application has to generate a random number and pick the country. That is the logic. Yeah. Okay, let me see if something is happening. Sometimes I miss your question from the comment. Okay, did you get the logic, guys? Show me if you got the logic. I'm staring at the comment, the chat box. Did you get the point how it works? So now we have to find a way to generate random index. Yeah, let's do. How do we generate random index? Let index mat.random, this thing times mat times the length of country objects. No, country data actually. What was the name? Country's data. But why it doesn't come when I'm trying to? Country's data dot length. And since the value of this, as you can see, let's console.log index. Before, if you implement anything, try to see what's happening on the console. The console is so smart, 124 something. But what we should do is actually we can use mat.floor, because index doesn't work with decimal numbers. Now I'm getting this index. Okay, now let's make use of this index here instead of working manually. So instead of passing numbers like that, I can just pass the index. Now we may just get different country. Let's refresh. Oh yeah, some another country. Great. Yes. Does it make sense? Okay, now instead of doing this, we have to have a button, and we can make use of that button to generate the country. Yeah. Okay, I think why is it so big? Maybe is it zoomed in? Let me try. Yeah, let me just make it 100 is good to keep. Now let's have some button over here. So we can create the button in different ways. Actually, we have a button here already. So we can say what we call it, find or generate or find country, because we got just lost because of the corona and we never know where to go, and this application will decide our fortune for the next holiday. Find a country. So find a country, it's at the top, but you can put it anywhere. And again, okay, let's attach it. That's okay. But do we target that yet? So let's stop consoling. We don't need console anymore. You got the idea. So let's gather the important. Sometimes cleaning make it look good. This is one stage. Now what I should do is actually here somewhere, maybe here, const button document dot query selector, and I just go for a button because I have just one button. So button dot add event listener, and it's going to be click by clicking we will generate, and actually we will have so late okay, where is this? Yeah, so this data should be generated inside. Okay, where is this random thing? I will put it, yeah, this is the, yeah, okay, I will do something like this. We should have both actually. I didn't get this down. It should be down too, because they should be here actually. I think I missed cannot access country initialization. Oh, okay, where is it? 1 2 1 2, yeah, no, we need it at the top. We need this at the top actually. We need this, if not it is, and then but inside here we should manage to change that. So I think the best way to handle this is using function. So I love to change this, use it to a function, this code. It's really hard. So const generate a country, generate country. Of course we don't, or a show country. Maybe I think show country might be a very good name. Show country. So this will take care of most of the codes we see here. I will just copy and paste most of the codes, relevant codes, and put it inside a function. Some codes will be outside as a global variable. Why is it? Show country. Okay, we have the button outside, all this. Most probably we need this to be outside, especially this, because I want it to be global, and at the same time we want to change it here. Okay, so now we have this, and actually we don't have to even return this, but we can just call the function show country. Unexpected and identifier at 6, line 6. What do we have? Const, let's see. Okay, nothing show up. Why? Because I didn't call it yet. Yeah, we managed to call, and I like to pass a country as a parameter. This should take a parameter, and yeah, so here again I will call that function, this function, and this index. Let index, what is this? Index is equal to this, and show data countries data dot index. and again here index. Identifier country has been already declared. Where is it? So let's go 11, line number 11. So it's not a good idea to declare it here. We destroy it, we remove it, because now we are making things dynamic. I think now it should change. Okay, no, undefined. Let's see what's wrong. We have that, but when we click here, undefined. Okay, what's the reason for that? Oh yeah, because it's wrong. We don't do something like this. Countries data, and the index, because this just get me the country. Now it should, oh, Eritrea. Great. What? As you can see now, oh, someone got this problem. Okay, nice. How can I solve this problem? Even I can't see my button. Oh no.
Yeah, I had the same issue. So what I did was instead of using append, I used in HTML, and I was resetting the content.
Yeah, that's true. So this is how you solve that. Wrapper dot inner HTML. Just whenever you do that, first change that. But do you know, again, I have a problem. I removed some of my values from here, so this should be out from the wrapper, and this should be also out. This should be also out. Why? I think I missed. This should be their part, and this should be also out from the wrapper. Now, as you can see, it's somehow working, right? So it's jumping, something like that. You can improve this using CSS. It's all about CSS. For instance, if I play what I created, of course I spent some time for that also. If you see, this one is somehow properly styled, and it looks much better than what we have right now. So the rest is for you to change. Language, for instance, there is also language. I think I didn't include the language in this one, so that's also your task to finish. How about if you don't have any question, how about if we have a break, and if we come back after 15 could be too much, but 10 minutes, and then we will finish the other exercise, adding search functionality for the countries. We will display this country. Instead of doing like this, we will display all the countries, and we will add search functionality. Is that okay?
I was wondering if you could just maybe quickly explain why the wrapper
What if you changed it to an empty value?
Your mic was breaking.
When it was displaying all the countries, I don't really understand why.
Which one?
When you fix the problem where it's displaying all the countries at once instead of one at a time.
Because we didn't do that yet. Are you talking about this one? This exercise, or the exercise which
Yeah, this exercise. You had a problem where it's displaying all of them, and then
actually it's not displaying all of them, it was appending them.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me show you there. Okay, where was this is Okay, so how we fix it actually is, let me show you on just, I can just do this, okay? You guys by now, you know how to target this, yeah? Document shows everything what I have on this. Okay, document.body means I'm just targeting the body of this. Document.inner HTML, if I put like a 0 like this now, this will be out. I'm not going to see this Google image, nothing. That's what I am expecting. Have you seen? Everything is removed.
Okay.
So what are we trying to do here? I may just make this commented out for the time being, and we have already one country. When I am doing this, it will be appended. So whenever you click, you are appending. So what we are doing here is actually we clear what we had before we add. Okay, we clear what we had. We clear out what we had before we add a new.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is the, yeah, this
It's just like a reset because you're clearing the screen.
Yeah, for instance, okay. I cleared the Google is not here anymore, and now I can add something new. Google, where are you?
Sounds like my child is getting tired.
Okay, so as you can see, I have removed what we had on the Google. This is the Google, and now we have a new text. Great. Shall we have a break and do the rest later after 10 minutes? Today's so we are left with totally about 30 minutes, but I think we may extend today's lesson by 15 minutes extra. Is that okay for everybody? And then we will manage to add a feature or some additional functionality for the previous exercise. Are you okay with that? Okay, so let's have a 10 minutes break and let's get back at 25 past 8.